Hello and welcome to the Nightmare Cabin. And I'm joined by a very special guest today. I'm joined by Lee Wollenschlager from Unblessed Divine. I've got that right, haven't I? He's Unblessed
You
Divine.
do.
Yeah.
You do.
I just had a thing then. Oh God, have I said the wrong name? So, yeah, you're back with a brand new project, a new EP, which is a free download at the moment on Bandcamp.
Yeah, it's on Spotify. It's pretty much everywhere at the moment. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, Google, whatever. It's Amazon Music. It's everywhere now.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm guessing during the lockdown, which we're all in, you just kind of got busy and formed this new
Yeah.
project. I
Uh,
mean, let's go
uh,
straight to the beginning, really. And how did the band form? And
yeah. Well, I just started writing music. But I had a project in mind, but I wanted more of a orchestral feel in the keyboards, but uh, at some I didn't end up being that way because when I was looking for a keyboardist, I put a post on my Facebook page saying that I'm looking for a person that lives in my town that can sit right next to me and we can work with the keyboards while I'm writing the guitars. But then Michal, all the way from fucking Poland, he's like,
oh,
"Hey, dude,
yeah,
hey, dude, oh." so, so I was like, "Okay, let's give it a shot." And we tried the orchestral stuff, but it just wasn't sounding. It didn't have the sound that I want. And then he started experimenting with a bit of industrial, and without even knowing it was exactly what I wanted, and yeah, it worked so well. But to begin with, the beginning of the songwriting, obviously all of us were on lockdown, so fuck man, I was writing music every single day. But then I started working, so obviously songwriting slowed down. But we do have a full album written at the moment. We just wanted to put out an EP, just to like pretty much introduce ourselves.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot going on in these um, four songs. Where you've got a little. I suppose if you got a little, what would be an intro track if you put it at the beginning, but you put it at the end, but it's still a cool little scene setter. But yeah, even in these, we've got 19 minutes of music here. It,
Yeah,
I mean this in a good way. It does feel longer. There is a lot going on in all of the songs, and in a short space, it does cover quite a lot of ground.
yeah. Now the whole thing that I like about it is that if you listen to it once, you'll hear an idea, but the more you listen to it, the more subtle things that you're going to hear in the background.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I, I'm don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing it to Emperor, but like if you listen to like Emperor's earlier stuff, there's always new things to hear, and the same thing will go with Unblessed Divine, especially with the rest of the album. We left all the really good stuff for the album, so we don't want to
Will
spoil
this
everybody too much.
will this be a separate? These three songs, will any of those be on the album, or will this be a separate thing on its own?
We're not sure. Maybe one or two will make it onto the album, but the the outro, like the synth thing, um, that's part of a bigger piece. It's part of a much bigger
Oh right.
piece. Yeah, so that's pretty much going to set the mood through the whole album. So everything's going to blend into each other. There's not really going to be much like, okay, here's song one, here's song two. Everything will pretty much flow into each other.
I'm thinking. I mean, the keyboards are definitely uh, it's not often you get like a death metal band that uses keyboards, and sometimes, especially in a lot of bands now, they're kind of just there going like just trying to make themselves heard. But the keyboards really do integrate in with the songs, and they do add that really nice atmosphere. There's like a real sort of chill to the music.
That's exactly what we wanted, because Michal and I discussed it, that if anything, it must be as dark as possible, but atmospheric as well. More in like a movie score type of sense. We weren't trying to do something completely different in the death metal genre, but I haven't heard anything like this, so maybe it is something new, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's subtle similarities, but there's nothing. No band sort of jumped out at me whilst listening to it. This is a bit like them, or this sounds a bit like that band, or nothing like that. So
if take the guitars, you could maybe say it sounds like this, or the drums maybe sounds like this, but the whole thing together, there's nothing like it around, man.
No, especially not. I mean, I was just.
I don't want to sound arrogant or whatever by saying that at all. It's just like while we were writing it, I was like, wow, we're doing something really different here, and I was like, fuck it, let's push forward with this because it's sounding really good.
Yeah, I mean, I found this. I was going through my books the other day and throwing different things up and going through some magazines, and underneath it, I found this. It's an art book of H.R. Giger, and I was just listening to the EP, just giving it one more listen before the interview, and I was flicking through this whilst listening to it, and yeah, man, like stuff like this would suit this down to the ground. It was a perfect little soundtrack. You know, everyone knows obviously HR. If you've not seen the Alien films or not got at least one album with his stuff on the cover, it's. But that sort of, I just kind of got that sort of soundscape to it, you know.
What you're saying that it's pretty much like job achieved, because we wanted to create that like bassy vibe, like very atmospheric, like dark blending sounds, and just not straightforward death metal or orchestral death metal like so some other bands do, which I love. But why do the same thing over and over and over? So we wanted to try something new when we found that we were doing something that sounded a bit different.
Obviously, last time we spoke, we were both in different projects. I was with the Metal Show with Golly and Joe podcast, and you was with Malevolent Creation. And you said then that you kind of went through this surge where you was writing like a song a day once. And you just mentioned that earlier as well. You was just writing and writing and writing. Do you get like that once you sort of get locked in a project? You just once the wheel starts turning, it just speeds up and
because I've been writing and recording music at home since '98. And back then I had like this little drum machine that I would I'd program each track and all that shit. But now, like if I want to record a riff, I just put on drums and I have it done. And I record 5 guitar tracks and you hear how it sounds. I pretty much give myself like a mixed version of how it will sound already, just with that one riff, and I've got it in 10 minutes. Because like I've saved my sessions in all of my recording programs and drum programs and all that shit, so that when I open it, it's already got a sort of mixed sound. So I've already got an idea of how it will sound. But obviously it will sound a bit different when the real drums come in. But I pretty much get the end idea in 10 minutes if I just want to write a riff.
Yeah, and also with that album, you said you was writing a lot, but you had to sort of slightly tweak what you was doing in order to fit the sort of Malevolent Creation sound. It does sound on this that you've not got that hanging over your head anymore, and it seems like you've discovered a lot of sort of musical freedom now.
I'm pretty much writing whatever the fuck I want. No disrespect to anybody or whatever, but I'm writing what I want. I'm writing what I like to hear. I'm writing what I like to listen to. So there's no point in writing shit that you don't even listen to. So
exactly. What I mean is, it's good to be in something now that you're in from the ground up as well. So you've not got that.
Yeah. And everything's hands-on as well, because yes, there are 5 of us, but Mihal and I are the main songwriters. Rian, the drummer, he'll give his drum ideas. If he wants to change something in the drum programming that I've done, then he'll record different stuff or whatever, play different stuff. So like in that aspect, freedom is completely his. But just as long as the songs that still feel the same with his drum tracking, and it's Mihal and I make a really good team. Pretty much noticed that from the first time I received, because how we do it is I write a song and I send it to him, and I'll send him my shopping list of things that I want in the song, and then he'll send it back to me, and then we go through it again, and it usually goes through about 5 or 6 times that we email back and forth with different ideas. By the 5th or 6th time, we pretty much got it. And with every song we write, we're understanding each other better, and it's happening quicker as well, because I think it was the 8th song. It's a song that means a lot to me. I like all of the riffs that I've written for Unblessed Divine are brand new, but except for the one riff in our 8th song, it's a riff that I've had since, must be like 96, and I haven't known what the fuck to do with it. I didn't know what to put before it. I didn't know what to put after it. I didn't know what to do with this fucking riff. And then all of a sudden I had these keyboards in my head, and I started recording the riff, and then all of a sudden there was an extra. I'm like, Jesus, it actually happened. It went to the next riff. So yeah,
you hear that quite often. Actually, you do hear these people going, "Yeah, I wrote this, 20 years ago, and I've finally found a song I can fit a solo in." Or I think the most famous one is Pantera, the solo at the end of Floods. There's footage of Dimebag playing it when he was like 19 or something like that, and that was when he finally. Yeah, it's cool when that happens.
Yeah, no, it was crazy, because I was playing the riff, and I knew I wanted this riff in this song because I had these keyboards in mind. And then all of a sudden, like, do you play guitar yourself?
No.
Okay, well,
play air guitar.
Like the way it is when you're playing, when you're trying to write a riff or something, you just throw around your hand and play around with things, and all of a sudden my hand just went in the right place, and I finished the song that night, and it was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah, I've been working on that riff for 26 years or something, and yeah.
It does amaze me how quick you put a song together. It's got to be said. I even when I'm back in the days when I wasn't a band, that writing lyrics, it used to take me forever. I used to sit there and obsess about it. And is it something that you just comes to it with where you've done it? Is it just like any other skill really? You just, once you know what you're doing and how to fit things together, it just.
I don't know if I force myself to do it this way, but the way I see it with songwriting, or the way I write, it's definitely not how other people. I can bet that 99% of people are going to disagree with me. But when I'm writing, okay, firstly, I never write music. Well, I never play guitar at home without recording equipment in front of me. So if I'm going to come sit in my bedroom and I'm in the mood to play guitar, I'm not going to come sit in the bedroom and play guitar. I'm rather going to go in front of the computer, because in case I come up with a good riff or something. But the way it is with me is, if I start something and it takes me like 4 or 5 days to finish it, it means that it's been struggled, and it means that the song isn't
Yeah,
flowing.
I know what you mean. Yeah, when you get that, just that flow, it's a bit of a, it's an odd thing to describe. I remember I was reading the Dark Tower by Stephen King,
Yeah,
and in a section in that, he said that he says it's a wind. A wind comes over him. I mean, it's the best way he can do it. Where he says if he forces himself to write, it's just not
yeah,
going to come. But all of a sudden, what he describes as the wind comes along, and all of a sudden,
yeah.
bang! He just bangs out. I don't know
But
if you've read the Dark Tower, but Stephen King actually comes into it. He's actually becomes a character in
okay,
the
yeah.
series, so that's how he
But
explains it in the book. But
the, the worst part though is, because I write so fast, like we've discussed before and we're discussing now. If I start a song at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, by like 8 or 9 that night, the song is recorded. The drums are pretty much tweaked, so I can send it to my drummer, to Rian, for him to make up his own drums or whatever. But what I usually do is, I won't send anything yet. I'll rather wait till the next day, and then I'll listen to it with fresh ears, because it has happened many times where I think I've written the song of all songs,
the next
and
angel
then
of death, yeah.
and then I listen to it the next morning, and it's like, what the fuck was I thinking, man? Yeah, but the the thing about my fast songwriting is, if I get writer's block, it, it lasts for months, and it's so frustrating, because I know I can write music so quickly, but once a block hits me, it's there for months. And before joining Malevolent, I had writer's block probably for about a year and a half. I just couldn't write anything. And I suppose it was a good thing, when I joined Malevolent, to get me out of my writing into a different style. But now that I'm out of Malevolent, I'm writing my own, like my own way again. So now it's coming very naturally again. But,
Well, like I say,
uh,
you've
uh,
certainly worked there,
uh,
because you wrote pretty much 90% of that album you were on, you know. But, so obviously another difference between Malevolent and now is the lyrical content. This one's quite satanic. I was wondering if you could elaborate on that a bit more, and discuss
well,
what's going on, and maybe give us a bit more insight into the upcoming album.
um, it's going to sound very pretentious, but it's not. It is deeply rooted within all of us in the band, for the lyrical content. But what people must understand with the lyrics in Unblessed Divine is that it's not um, it's not blasphemous lyrics at all. We're not singing against Jesus Christ, or um, what we think of Jesus, or we think of God, or whatever. It's the lyrics are literally the glorification of Satan, and that's pretty much what it is. Maybe there'll be a little bit, like a hint of blasphemy every now and then, but it's not like a deicide lyrics where
Yeah,
it'll
I
be
know what
like
you mean.
pure
Yeah.
God. It's nothing like that. It's more it's a lot of people think, well, you sing about Satan, how can you think of it as being positive? But all the lyrics are very positive. In the way I see it. Well, other people can read it and think that I'm crazy in the fucking head, but I, I just wanted to keep the whole blasphemy thing out of it, and more keep it about the glorification rather than just being an asshole and singing "Kill Jesus" and "Kill God" and all that crap. But the lyrics did have to fit with the music, and I've been I don't know if you know my old project, Imperial Empire. The last album that I was writing, which I do have a full album written for it already as well, it was going to be very satanic, but so I thought, well, let's just bring that lyrical content over to Unblessed Divine, and that's pretty much how I came up with the name as well. So like, it's not like it's not like a scary name. It's like saying like the adversarian is divine. I see it as a divinity instead of this dark, gloomy, fucking evil horned monster that wants to eat babies.
It was actually Imperial Empire that I got confused at the beginning. Because I knew there was Imperial Empire and Unblessed Divine. And when I went, and Unblessed Divine, I thought, shit, is that the new band or the old band? So, yeah, I guess, is this really a carry-on then of Imperial Empire? Or would you say, no, they are very separate projects?
If you had to listen to the two together, just the guitars and drums, you will hear a big similarity. But with Imperial Empire, I don't rely on the keyboards or anything for any harmonies or anything. I do that all with the guitars. So it's the music is similar, but I'll see. Maybe I'll finish that album sometime. That album's been finished for the past 5 years. I finished writing it about 5 years ago. I rewrote the album about 3 times. Every time I was happy with it, and I don't know, I just left it. I never, because Imperial Empire was all like programmed drums, so I never bothered about proper recordings and stuff. I wasn't ever fussed about sending it out to record labels or whatever. I always just used to send it out just for reviews, just to see what the people think about it. I was never really fussed about having Imperial Empire being this big band, but so well with Unblessed Divine, it is different. We, especially me, Harl and I, we want to take this as far as it can go. So let's hope that people are liking it. We've gotten some awesome reviews back, which we're very happy about. We actually recorded or we filmed. Okay, it's just me and my wife in the music video, but we filmed a music video on Sunday, which I'm busy editing at the moment. It'll maybe be next week or so. Yeah, we put a lot of work into this music video. Yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, like I say, it's certainly knocked me for six when I heard it. I don't know. I thought I had an idea of what I was going to hear, and then it was really, I was expecting to like it regardless. But it was definitely, I was taken back, and it was a nice surprise what I did. It was very different to what I was anticipating.
And that is what we're getting in the reviews. A few of the reviewers, they say if you're going into this expecting like traditional death metal, this isn't what you're going to get. Maybe the guitars are traditional death metal, but the keyboards change things around. But what the big thing that I do want to get across to people that haven't heard it is they mustn't think that Unblessed Divine sounds like Elude Divinum Insanus. Because the techno Morbid Angel album.
That is a track someone could fall into actually. Yeah, like it's death metal with an industrial feel. Mind you, that album on paper seemed to you go all right. Because I remember when I started seeing reviews of it, I was thinking, well, Morbid Angel is messing around with a bit of industrial, but that sounds interesting actually. That don't sound too bad, and maybe they've got a bit of a septic flesh thing going on with some orchestration and whatnot, and maybe they've listened to a few bands that have sort of took what Morbid Angel did and ran with it, and they're listening to them, and then when I listen to it, it's like, oh god. It's nothing like that album. Funny enough,
the thing is, everybody's saying, it's all David Vincent's fault. No. David Vincent didn't write the music. It was Trey. Like, all my love for Trey, I love everything he's done. I love his guitar work. He got too involved into the techno thing, and
as much as he's a genius doesn't always mean some geniuses make some mistakes.
It sounds like a bad Rob Zombie album.
I always thought that actually. I always thought it's a little unfair that David's kind of getting all the flack for this because. It's Trey's band. He was in the band from day one. He was in all the years that David wasn't there. Then David's all of a sudden going to come along and put this on, and then Trey was sitting there going, "Nah, I ain't doing that." So
don't get me wrong. David Vincent did write some shitty ass lyrics, like radical and too extreme.
But I just finished his autobiography earlier in the year actually, and there's a chapter on the album, and it clears the story up a lot actually.
I have to get that. Can I download it on my iPad?
I'm not sure. I bought the book, but it might be on Kindle. Yeah, possibly. Couldn't see why not. But it's definitely worth a read. And I enjoyed that book a lot. A lot more than well, I knew I'd enjoy it anyway. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought the fucking thing. But I was really, really taken back by how good it was. He's really likable as well. Because he can come across as a bit. He's a bit of a showman, isn't he? And he's quite serious in his interviews, and that. I thought it would be a bit, I don't know what, but he was very light-hearted. He's full of humour. And when he has made mistakes, he's admitted them as well. He's quite. He dresses himself down quite a lot in it, actually. And
you said it that he's a showman, and it is a fucking amazing showman. Even though he was dressed in that fucking spandex when he rejoined the band,
the only thing I had against that was that I couldn't pull that off. The fact that it didn't fit on me, that was the only thing I had against that. So, don't knock him for wearing it. Until you can wear it yourself, then you can say it. But no, I recommend that book. So this is exciting, man. This is 3 awesome tracks, and you've got this nice little piece at the end that just gives you just a nice little, it's a little taste of what's to come. And we've got a full album coming. I'm guessing this will be in the new year at some point. I know everything's up in the air, but in a perfect world, this all goes away tomorrow and everything opens up. are you looking to do gigs and tour and go week? Yeah,
definitely. Because Mihail lives in Poland, rehearsal home base will be in Poland for the whole band. Obviously, because in this project I'm just doing vocals. I'm just doing vocals live. So Mihail will take over over my guitar parts, and he'll
I see.
play
So
that
you're
live.
playing guitar on the album, but in the live setting, it would just be So you've only got to basically take yourself. You've not got to pack a. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and because like pretty much all the projects that I've ever played in, except for like maybe one project, I've always had either a guitar or a bass with me. And with Unblessed Divine, I just decided, fuck it, I want this band to have a front man. And I thought, fuck it, let's drop the guitar for now. If we do play gigs in South Africa, maybe I'll play guitar live. I don't want to, so I'll maybe find like somebody to like it's gonna sound really bad, but like a guitarist for hire that wants to play a few gigs.
Nothing wrong with that. It's all right.
Yeah. But you know what I mean, without letting it sound bad. But I don't really want to do any shows without Michal. Even though I started the project, this project is as much his as it is mine. We've both put in the same amount of work. We've both put in the same amount of passion. We both love this band as much as can be. So I don't want to gig without him. So what would happen is my drummer and guitarist live in Johannesburg, which is about 4 hours from me. My bassist lives in a place called Kestel, which is about an hour and a half from where I am. So we'll all meet up in Johannesburg and rehearse. All of us South African boys we'll rehearse here, and then get everything tight with the backing tracks of the keyboards and everything, because we're going to play the backing tracks of the keyboards. Then like when we do officially like start touring and start playing gigs overseas, then our home base will be in Poland. So we'll go and we'll rehearse with Michal as much as we can after our rehearsals here. So it'll pretty much be just getting tight with him in Poland. And then from there, we go around, we go touring Europe or wherever.
I got last time I spoke to you as well, you introduced me to some good bands as well. I think it was it the Amenta? Yeah, that I got that album off of your recommendation, and it was actually you that got me into Deeds of Flesh. I arrived at that party very late, and I don't know if you've looked at the channel. I did a show with So you'd have been you saw it was you that got me into them. So I've got to ask you before I go, mate. What have you been listening to? And I'm hoping I can discover something new from you.
New stuff. To be honest, fuck man, I've been listening to a lot of the Amenta. A lot of Bachner.
They've got a new album out as well.
The Amenta.
Yeah.
It's coming out in February.
It's coming out, is it? I see.
Yeah. I'm a bit skeptical because that last song that they released was a bit weird. It sounded like a bit new metal. I'm a bit worried, but I'm sure the rest of the album will be awesome. I've been listening to the Amenta, a lot of the Amenta. A lot of stuff like Wolfheart. I've spoken to you about Wolfheart before. Pretty much the same stuff. I try not to scare my clients too much while I'm tattooing them. But so some days you just want to listen to Tomb of the Mutilated while tattooing a 50-year-old lady's heart on her chest.
Yeah, I mean, where I get tattooed as well, it's pretty much there's normally about 5 or 6 tattooists, and plus you've got the customers, and it always becomes like a big sort of argument of, no, let's play this next and play that next. So there's obviously a load of different tastes as well. But I mean, you're a tattooist as well, man. Let's talk about that for a bit.
A lot of times, it actually happened last week. I can't remember what I was listening to. It wasn't anything really intense, but I think I was listening to Gojira, I think, and my client asked me, does this music relax you? I'm like, I understood what she was trying to say, like, because like you want to tattoo in like a relaxed environment, but I just said to her, it's the music that I listen to, and I do get like funny looks every now and then about the music that I listen to while I'm tattooing, but at the end of the day, yes, the client must be comfortable. I do agree with that 100%, but the tattoo artist must be, they must be at home, because I'm not a scratcher. I don't just fuck around in people's skin. If they come to me with something, I want to do it better than what they brought it to me, or it's like or if I draw them a design up, I want to do it better than the drawing. So I want to be at home as possible. Like I want to feel at home as possible, instead of like where this one studio that I worked in, the owner was into house music. Jesus, man, I would go home with that beat in my head, like doof, 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 doof. The whole fucking day. I would get home every day irritated because I'd have this fucking beat in my head and I wasn't in my own element. But then, like 9 years ago, I opened my own studio, and I said, "Fuck it, I don't give a fuck who comes to my shop. If fucking Pastor fucking James Twan wants to come into my fucking shop and I'm listening to Morbid Angel, then he has to just listen to fucking Morbid Angel, because I must be comfortable while I'm tattooing him. Yes, he has to feel comfortable, but I have to be fucking comfortable doing the fucking job on him. And there's probably some shit design that he wants anyway that I got to make nice. So man.
What I normally get where I go is it's normally something arty-farty, and there's a lot of instrumental music played as well, which I think helps zone everyone out. Really, I think. But yeah, I mean, I do like the atmosphere in a tattoo shop. It's always fun. There's always something mad being spoken about, and I just love when you walk in, that bleach smell, that smell of a tattoo shop.
Yeah. For a while, I was listening to like music, like movie scores, while I work. But I'd listen to stuff like Alien, like the soundtracks for like the Alien, and even stuff like Lord of the Rings or whatever. And people are like, "Why the fuck are you listening to orchestral music?" It's like, okay, well, fuck you then. I'm gonna put on fucking Deicide and see what the fuck you say then.
So, I mean,
I love what I do, but it sometimes gets a bit crazy.
I mean, that's great. One thing as well about tattooing as well is one thing you can literally work anywhere. You can live anywhere in the world.
Oh, except for South Korea, where it's illegal.
Well, you know what I mean. But yeah. But when it does, but we're getting there.
But the problem with me is that I'm South African, so getting visas to go stay in countries is difficult. So I do have British ancestry, where I have lived in England before. I lived there through a ancestry visa, so I can move back whenever I want. But if I wanted to move to Poland, for example, it's going to be very difficult because they're going to be looking for people with high-skilled jobs, and tattooing isn't, according to their government, a high-skilled job or a high-demand job, should I say?
Yeah.
Like a doctor or a fucking whatever. Yeah, so it's going to be very difficult. Through the tours that we did in the beginning of the year, probably the nicest place that I saw in Europe was Poland. I fell in love as soon as I went there, and oh man, I'd do anything to live there. It's so nice there.
Yeah, I've never been. I have to visit at some point, do a bit more traveling. But
Good,
do you do a lot of drawing as well in your spare time? Is that
yeah.
is that something you could do as well with the album? Maybe not do the whole artwork yourself, but at least draw something up and submit it to someone and say play with that.
Well, I did design the cover for the EP.
You did, yeah.
I put that together.
Bit
I
of
like working
Lovecraft going on there. Is that right?
Yeah, I like working in a digital space. But well, one thing that did change my artwork a lot was all the drawing and painting apps on iPad now. It's made life so much easier. I haven't drawn on a piece of paper in 2 years. I haven't needed to, because I just draw and paint everything on iPad. It's made things so much easier and so much more convenient. Like I can lie in bed while my wife's sleeping, and I can have a fucking painting right in front of me, and I don't have to have all these fucking dirty paints and pencils and sharpeners and erasers and all that crap. I just do it on the iPad while she's sleeping next to me.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, it's really awesome.
What about when you're doing a design? Do you draw it then and who I go to, he normally draws it and then puts it through a thing, and then it comes out in that thing that you peel off, and then that's when he puts it on.
Yeah, well, how I do tattoos is if a person wants a specific design, like if he found a design online and he says, I want this design, I don't want anything changed, then I tell him, okay, I'll do it that way, but I'm going to do it in my style, because you came to me, which means you like the way I tattoo. So
yeah, exactly. You're not. Yeah.
So if you bring me a picture of this lighter, I'm going to shade it in the style that I work. There's no point in me recreating that picture exactly how they brought it.
They wouldn't like it years down the line anyway. They'll always be glad that you've done that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I get that every time somebody brings me a design. They tell me like, wow, it looks so much better. What I do obviously prefer is when they give me creative freedom and I can draw the design from scratch. A lot of times people will make bookings, and then like they'll have their design and they're like, no, I want nothing changed, and it goes through the whole same shit, and then they pitch up for their appointment with a picture of a tattoo, and they're like, well, I want this tattoo. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't do that. I'm not gonna make a stencil out of somebody else's tattoo. So I told them, okay, well, you can either wait 2 hours while I redraw this design, or we can reschedule. I'm not doing this. I'm not gonna copy somebody else's tattoo. Yes, I'll redraw the design of the tattoo that they brought in, but the same as the tattooing, I'll draw it in my own style.
That's it, man. You're a tattoo artist, and you should trust your artists. If you've done your homework, you're paying the money. You know.
And that's the difference between a tattooer and a tattoo artist. That's the way I see it. Is that like there's this one guy that I used to work with. He knew it himself. He'd even refer to himself as a copy artist because he didn't have. He can draw, yes. He can copy drawings, but he can't draw out of his head. So, to me, that guy's just a tattooer. He can't take a design and make it better. So like if he sees something shaded that way, he'll make it shaded that way. Where I'll look at that and I'll think, fuck that. I'm going to screw with this completely, make it look better. And that's just what I do with when people come in with their own fucking we're with the set design. I'm tired of.
Same with musicians, you know. Some people can play like Joe Satriani. You give them a thing and they can play it after listening to it once, but they can't write to save their life, you know. But someone who isn't that good a player, so they'll give the song to that person, and bang, that's how a lot of bands form.
I'm not going to say any names because maybe some of your viewers will know the channel that I'm speaking about. But there's this black metal guy on YouTube that he does like black metal covers. He plays the drums, he plays the guitars, he plays the bass, he does the vocals and everything, and he does them so well. And he on his channel he's posted some of his own live shows of his own band, and it sucks, man. And you can either copy something or you can create something, and some people just can't create it. It's not an insult. It's not an insult at all.
It's not. No, it's. I think if you recognize it and use where you are on this sort of spectrum to the best of your ability, it can be a great advantage. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because this guy's covers are fantastic. He does a lot of Burzum.
I think I know who you mean, but I don't know who he is, what he's called off the top of my head. But I've seen the odd video. Mind you, there's so many as well. There's I think musicians are probably getting more money, like more doing that on YouTube than they are making their own music nowadays. So.
I'm a bit worried though, because we're with this whole COVID shit that we spoke about before the interview. Venues are going to start closing down, man. Places are already closing down in my own town, and fuck it, man.
I don't know if it's gone ahead, but Marduk are playing tonight in London. And you lived in London, didn't you? So they're playing the Electric Ballroom. I don't know if the show's gone ahead or not, but it's a fucking social distance one. It's like a half the capacity. So the tickets are like £40. So that's the thing for a start. It's like half the capacity, but the price is going to go up.
The Electric Ballroom is big enough to be able to have social distance.
Yeah, but it's not though, is it? It's not going to be the same. It's going to be, you know.
It's like my friends in Conqueror.
Imagine the Underworld. Imagine that. Everyone. It's going to be. I think if you've ever been to a gig at the Underworld, you're pretty much immune to anything, anyways.
The one thing that reminds me about the Underworld so vividly is the last time I lived in London. That was when they started the big ban on smoking everywhere, and you weren't allowed to smoke in pubs anymore. And I think this was around 2006, around there. And I would go to the Underworld and I'd watch bands normally, fine, whatever. Then they started the smoking ban, and you weren't allowed to smoke inside the venues. You would stand 10 meters away from the fucking shitter, and you would smell that fucking bathroom through the whole fucking club, man. The smoking would kill BO. It would kill the body odor of all these fucking people. It would kill the piss smell from the bathrooms. Oh no, fucking hell, yeah. Anyway, then that's
yeah.
my
As
rant.
much as it's a shit, I do miss it. Seems like a lifetime ago. I mean, fucking hell. When did we see each other? Isn't it? What was it? March, April? No, it must have been March, wasn't it? Your show was the last gig I went to. Funny enough, no, it was you guys, and then I went to the same venue the next night to see Blaze Bailey doing an Iron Maiden set, and that was March.
I love Blaze Bailey's stuff, man, and what he must fucking realize is his stuff is better than anything he ever did in Iron Maiden. His solo stuff. His solo stuff is fantastic.
Yeah, it suited him. It suits him much better. And yeah, that was 3 shows I went to that week. I went to see Testament, supported by Exodus and Death Angel. Then I saw you guys, and then the next night I saw Blaze Bailey. And then that was it. Gone. It seems like a fucking lifetime ago. It's not even, well, it was March. It's not even a year.
We don't have international bands touring South Africa anymore. It doesn't happen anymore. It happened for about 2 or 3 years. There was this production company called Witch Doctor Productions, and they had a thing called Witch Fest. I think there were 2 big ones, and the last one, if I understand it correctly, I've heard it from a few people. I don't know how true it is, but it bankrupted the owner of Witch Doctor Productions, and man, it's just too far to bring people, because it's not as if when you come to South Africa you can play 15 shows. You can play Johannesburg and you can play Cape Town. The rest of the towns are too small. You're not going to have capacity.
Yeah, unless you're fucking Iron Maiden or Bon Jovi or something. Yeah, we're going to play an arena. Yeah. Okay, man. So I think we'll wrap it up. So Unblessed Divine. I'll put some links in the description below. It's currently a free download, so get onto Bandcamp and download it and check it out. This is a real good, exciting new project. It's unique as well, and well worth your time. So Lee, thank you for your time, my friend. It's great speaking to you, and we will meet again. We will have a beer, and I'll be looking forward to speaking to you next year when the album's out. So you're welcome back anytime, man. Take care, bro. All the best, man.
Yeah. Bye.